Hi, and welcome to this week's Shir. The title of this week's Shir is going to be Tamei Torah Basar V'Chalav. Okay? Either you can learn Tamei Torah as the reasons in Torah for Basar V'Chalav, or the more hidden matters of Basar V'Chalav. Okay, this is kind of part 2 from last week, where we had a challenge. Are we going to find Chidushim in the Mechaber Shulchan Aruch, right? This week we took a totally random halacha, completely random, narrowed the process down by going through Yeridea, because why did we choose Yeridea? Just interesting, right? Just interesting. Just skipped to a random page. I wanted to find, I found a couple halachas that were long, and that was not the focus. We don't want to learn this for 5 weeks. We want to find a shorter halacha, which even exasperates the challenge that we should try to find a chiddush in the Lashon and the Mechaber. Which brings us to Yeridea, Sadik, Aleph, halacha, Aleph. I want you to listen, yeah? After I read this halacha, the question is there a chiddush here, okay? Basar ugvina. With me? Shenago ze beze mutrim ele shitzarech lahadiach makom shenigason umuter letzorotam b'mitpachat achas v'lo chayshinan shema yago ze beze. Did you understand that? Meat with cheese, meat and cheese, that they touched each other. They're okay. They're allowed, mutrim. Except you have to wash the place where they touched. And it's mutter to bundle them up in one bundle, and we don't have to be afraid lest they will have touched, or they touch this one with this one. Do you think of a chiddush? Doesn't sound like there is a chiddush. No. At all. Huh. Okay. The Gemara is the Makor, as usual, right? Chulin, Kuf Zayin Amud Beis. Soirer Adam Basar Ugvina. B'mitpachat Echas Ubilvad Shelo Yiu Nogoyin Zeh B'zeh. Then it goes into another shita, which is not our shita. Then it ends with Zebasar Zegvina ve'ein choshishim. The guy bundles up basar and gvina in one bundle. He can do it. It's apparent he can do that, I would assume, because then it says bilvad, only so that that they were not touching this one with this one. And it comes out that you have one that is holy meat, one that is holy cheese, and we do not suspect any kind of fears. From that, for sure, you're not going to think of a chiddush, correct? Sounds pretty straightforward. Okay, I'm going to move the Talmud off to the side for now, just to show that we don't need this much anymore, right? With me? This is the Talmud on that. Let's bring the Torah into here. Just for the record, the Rush, the Ramban, and the Rif are not really present in this sugya. So how many of our friends? We should have 8 friends. Rush, Rif, Rashi, Tosfos. 4 of our friends are not here. Tur, Mechaber, 2 are here. Rambam's here. At 3, Ramban is not here. So we have 3 out of 8 present and accounted for. The Rambam's looking like our Ikar Rishon. The Torah has to be here because he wrote the Torah. And the Mechaber has to be here because he wrote the Shulchan Aruch. So it would look, at this point, it's going to be Rambam Central, right? He's our Rishon. No one else is here. should be Rambam Central. Do you have any idea how the Torah is going to word this halacha? Are you expecting him to sound like the Gemara?
No.
Yeah? But we saw the Shulchan Aruch is different. So already the question is, why is the Shulchan Aruch not like the Gemara? It's already an issue. Here's the Torah. Basar ugvina shenagu ze b'ze mutrin ela shetzorich ladiach makom nigyasan u'mutter letzor otam b'mitpacha dechas v'lo chashin on shem yagu ze b'ze. Does that sound familiar? Where? Shulchan Aruch. Alright, there's somebody that agrees with you. There is someone that agrees with you. Did some printing out. And we have... Let's see who it is first. One second. Yeah. This is a sefer I saw. Ktav Torah. Basar Ogvina. Shenagu ze b'ze mutrin. Ela shetzorich ladiach makom nigasan. V'mutter letzor oisam mitpachat achas. V'lo chayshin on shem yagu ze b'ze. Good? V'chein hu lashon Shulchan Aruch. He claims like you that the lashon of the Torah is the same as the lashon of the Shulchan Aruch. You stand by that?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all we have in the printouts. Yeah. Other than the Chidah, I'm going to point this out now. The Chidah is going to take the Shulchan Aruch, and he's going to say it's a Pashut Din. Right? It's a Pashut Din. On basically, you can make a Derech Yashar, a straight path off the Shulchan Aruch. Okay. First thing I want to tell you is you're wrong. And he's wrong as well. The difference is, and everyone's going to say I'm splitting hairs and it's not correct. If you notice that the Torah and the Shulchan Aruch are word for word exact, except for the Chiddush we had last week. Basar, basar. Gvina, gvina. Shenago, shenago. Ze, ze. Beze, beze. Motrin, motrim.
Oh.
Everything else is oto davar.
I know him, I know
That's
him.
right.
Oh.
So the question again is going to become, why the nun sofit, why the mem sofit? Okay, we've already seen that the Torah's pressed to not sound like the Gemara. And the Shulchan Aruch Mechaber doesn't want to sound like the Torah. They want to say it's the same lashon. Maybe it is for most reasons, but really it's not. Now, I'm not a, what do you call it, grammarian? Grammatarian? What's that called? A grammarian?
Yeah.
A grammarian. And I don't know how ancient biblical Hebrew works in the grammar to the point of this, but I will tell you, in the usage of their writing, there is a difference between motrin and motrim. And I can tell you from a sensitivity and learning. Right? Now again, where is it written? Most of those rules are lost. A lot of them are the principles of Rabbi Yishmael. And we say there's 13 levels of exegesis. But I think really we say there's like 39, right? There's like an ancient Masorah, there was a lot. Way more. And we lost that tradition. The rules of how to make, these kind of conclusions. But when you see motrin, especially when it's in context of the Talmud, listen what he's saying here. Basar ugvina shenagu ze b'ze motrin elo shetzorich ladiach makom nigyasin. What do you assume motrin is referring to? Lashon mutter. What is mutter? I want you to tell me. What is mutter?
Permissible.
Huh?
Permissible.
Yeah, but what is permissible here?
Yeah.
Do you know?
No.
I would assume that he's saying there's a matzav of basar, a matzav of gvina. They touched. I'm going to rinse them off. It sounds to me like they're not puzzle. Don't throw them away. Mutter lachila, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm just going to wrap up the Torah real quick, all right, just to knock things out of the way. The Torah in her commentaries are going to say that if you look at the next halacha, 91b, it's a direct quote, Ktav Bal HaItter. I've heard of the Bal HaItter a lot, but I never really thought to look it up. Bal HaItter was an early Rishon, and he wrote a basic Shulchan Aruch. There was the laws of Choshen Mishpat, Even Ezer, Yerodea, and Orach Chaim in his own early way. He took from the Gonim. He was a early style Shulchan Aruch. So I want to bring this in this year. You see that there was a halachic code forming. All right, the Gonim gave over the secrets of the Talmud, how it works, Halacha Moshe Sinai, and then you had commentators starting to codify. Codification was largely pshat in the Babylonian Talmud. Maybe Yerushalmi too. But when I say that, look here, we have the Prisha on this. He's going to say the Bal HaItter is going to come, and Davar Pashut Hu Shabal HaItter Kai Ahad Etnan Ubilvad Shelo Yu Nagoyin Zeb Zeva Amrina Begamara Sheim Nagu Tzarich Ladiak Makom Nagiyasan Shema Mina Kol Mine Datati Datata. So the Bal HaItter is going to say this din is Pashit the Gemara. Right? He's going to say the pshat you saw in the Mishnah. And by the way, I forgot to read you Abaye. The din's going to be like Abaye. Right? The Gemara is going to say V'kin ogei azeh b'zeh my havi yitzoni b'soinin who Amar Abaye need a klipa lo boyi hadacha mi lo boye. Okay? He's going to say that when they touch, what do? Right? You completely rinse it off. Abaye says in the case of the klippa, sometimes the klippa, the shell of it is able to be to draw out things, right? So ni the klippa lo boye hadacha mi lo boye. It's kind of a halachic mimer of Abaye. The point is that lashon of Abaye is translated into the Torah as hadacha, rinsing it off, right? Now, this whole framework comes from the Bal HaItter. I'm just setting up the scene here. It's an early Rishon. He says there's no Chiddush here. Most of the Rishonim don't even touch it. And the Torah basically, I think the Rashba, it says, went after the Bal HaItter as well. He quoted him, and everybody's going to then go and quote the Bal HaItter. Because the Bal HaItter is going to learn pshat in the Gemara based on the Mishnah and how Abaye qualified in the Gemara. That's a basic framework of how we got to the Torah, okay? Very basic. And that should be it for the Torah. Should be it for the Torah. There's my bookmark. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The Rambam was one of our Rishonim. If we didn't have the Rambam, this wouldn't be interesting. But we do have the Rambam. The Rambam is going to be in Hilchos Achlas Asuras Perak Tes Halacha Yud Zayin, on location. Habasar levado mutter. The chalav levado mutter. Meat alone, obviously, there's no problem. It's good meat, good cheese. Right? We're not at McDonald's yet. You can eat these things, and when you mix them both together by cooking, they're both forbidden to eat. Sorry, McDonald's, we're not going to come and have your food. But Madvarim Amrim, what are we talking about? When we cook them together, as the Torah says, don't cook a kid in his mother's milk. We did, Chas v'shalom. Or it fell the hot into the hot, or the cold into the hot. And now we came treif. V'hu chan l'toch hasheni v'hu tzainin koilef habasar kulo shenaga bo v'chalav ha'leichel hashar. right? If you have a case where it fell in the permitted way, there's a way to fix or remedy the situation, as long as it wasn't totally puzzle and becoming treif. The im nafut seinen latok seinen, cold fell and cold, madiach chaticha ve'ochla, right? The cold meat fell into the cold cheese. Rinse it off and you can eat it. Lafikach, therefore, mutter litzror basar gvina b'mitpachas achas. Sound familiar? V'hu shelo yagu zeh b'zeh v'im nagu b'diak basar b'diak gvina v'ochel. So the Rambam's got his own deal going on, where he's talking about basar v'chalav and the forbiddenness of eating them together. And then he brings our Gemara as a lafikach. Right? If you had the cold fall into the cold, soinin mit soinin, which is what we said by Abaye, remember? So the Rambam was talking about you ate treif. Then maybe it wasn't so treif. Then it wasn't treif at all. So he's bringing you a hishtalshlus, which ended up with Abaye, which is the answer of how our Mishnah works. So the Rambam knows Shas, and he says, since we're at our Mishnah and Abaye, very nicely, from just a hishtalshlus from Basar v'chalav, I'll bring it in now. So just like the Mishnah says, you can wrap up meat and cheese in a zach as long as they don't touch. If they touch, you wash each one and you eat each one. Now comes the Kesef Mishnah. The Kesef Mishnah is going to say that he has a problem with this. Yeah? Let's just make sure one thing before we go on. Yeah, do you know who the Kesef Mishnah is? You don't know?
Commenting on the Rambam.
Who is he? Yosef Karo. So, you don't always have to look in the Torah, where's the Torah? For Yosef Karo in the Beis Yosef. He's also in the Kesef Mishnah on the Rambam. So now we're not out of the league, out of the woods yet for our finding our Chiddush. He's going to say like this. I got a problem with this word lefikach of the Rambam. Why? Why are you bringing like this transition to our Gemara from where you were? Okay, you eat milk and meat or you don't. Why are you bringing us here? Tam Tavis lefikach kashebe inai. It's problematic in my eyes. The Eilomer dekaya reisha the katanya basar levado mutter. This doesn't sound like if you have a good piece of meat and a good piece of cheese, right, you can eat them as long as they're separate, and now you can bundle them up. What? Right? What? The ha'afil iser v'heter, even a good piece and bad piece. Lo matzino she'e aser, no one says even if it's treif, one thing, right, a treif meat and good cheese. It's not forbidden to bundle them together, right? Even if they're not touching, no problem. It's possible Shatayim Elamer that came on the Soinim and Soinim Mediach. It's maybe he's going on the very previous thing where a cold zach fell into a cold zach and then you wash it off. And it's possible Shatayim Elamer that came on the Soinim and Soinim Mediach. Lafikach Heicha de Keshra Medpachas Achas, where he tied them in this thing. If they were touching this one with this one, you would rinse it off the meat, rinse off the cheese, and you would eat it. The Einami Yoshev Demai Lafikach he. And the fact is, Lafikach doesn't answer, not the beginning part, and not the part on location by us. Just suddenly tying it up, the food. Doesn't fit. So he's saying that this transitional word, the fikach, is like there's a beginning of the halacha, a middle A, middle B, and an end. So the beginning, it doesn't go. And the middle B, where it is, doesn't go. But the part just before, it goes. And the part at the end doesn't matter. So the Rambam's chaparayim. And if you notice the Torah, the way he does it, he's chaparayim too. He's saying that the Bala Itter halacha, right, that comes in the next halacha, really is explaining where we are now. In 91.1. They're all chaparayim. You see what I'm saying? In these milk and meat laws, they're bringing in things, they're chaparayim. So there's a chachma here. In fact, the commentary to the Shulchan Aruch is going to have the same idea presented in the Torah when he says, who's he? This is the Prisha. Alright, we mentioned him before. I'll mention him again. So the Prisha is going to, again, the commentary on the Torah. The Torah is a little bit different than the Mechaber, which we'll get to. He's going to quote Abaye. He's going to say it straight from the Mishnah. He's going to quote the Bala Itter, who says it's straight from the Mishnah. The language of the Torah is from the Bala Itter. So there's a Masorah here. V'Rabbeinu, one second. The boy hadacha aser v'Rabbeinu afal pi. Here, he's going to challenge. He's going to say, why is the Torah changing the language of the Mishnah? That was one of our original questions. Even though that he taught a little bit of the lashon of the Mishnah in the place that it said bilvad, right, in the Gemara, when it said only that they shouldn't touch the cheese and the meat, he then says something different. He's saying v'lo chayshin on shema yagu zeh b'zeh. He didn't bring in that word bilvad. He wants to know why. Why? The Talmud did not write what he wrote. Ksav lo shel Mishnah b'makom dekatani bilvad ktav v'lo chayshinan b'kol makom mushak ksav bala iter kai gam kein shapir adivrei Rabbeinu. He's saying, with the Torah's language, you don't need the bala iter. The bala iter, the very next law, is going to talk about how to do the washing. But if I, the Torah, change the language from the Talmud, I can learn that in Halacha 1. The Talmud doesn't give you that liberty. The Talmud says, read on, and I'll tell you how to do that. So there's the Mishnah and Abaye, our Halacha, and then learn further on, in the Talmud, they'll tell you this Bala Itter Zach in Halacha 2. But the Torah changes the language from the Talmud, and makes it so, he quotes the Bala Itter, but it changes it a little bit, and I can learn the Chiddush of the Bala Itter in the next halacha, in my halacha now. As he says, Ratzon Loimer, Midektav Rabbeinu, the Torah, Shema Yagu Zeh B'Zeh, Mashma De'im Varda Yagal Aser Lenicha. Im Kein Shmaina. That if they were touching, for sure, it's forbidden food. Right? So then obviously what do? You have to wash. And the Bala Itter's going to tell you that. But why didn't you just let the Bala Itter tell me in the second halacha? Why are you telling me in the first halacha? So you see, he's letting the cat out of the bag in the first one, and then introducing in the second one. And notice that the Shulchan Aruch is not going to mention the Bala Itter. So in his next halacha, he's changing it lagamre, what the Torah did. So you see, the Shulchan Aruch did change the language of the Torah by saying motrim and not motrim. And he's going to leave out the Bala Itter. So why? Because the Bala Itter was already mentioned in the first halacha. Because he changed the language. And they're saying, why did he do that? We're going to learn about it next. So the Shulchan Aruch says, let's leave him out altogether. Because the Torah already brought in the Bala Itter in the first part. So I don't need to mention him again in the second part. But that's only half the story.
Half.
Here's the Chiddush. The Mechaber changes the first halacha. from motrin to motrim. The Rambam is focused on what? Tell me. Did you got this? Was his ikr on washing or eating? Afikat mutter litzor basar v'gvina metpachas achas v'hu shelo yagos evazeh v'im nagu madiak basar madiak v'gvina v'ochel. He's focused on eating. If you have good meat, good cheese, you can eat them. Hey, if they touched, you gotta wash them off. If you cook them, it's treif. And then if he said that the whole time, he's saying if they got mixed up, maybe you can eat them, maybe you can't. Suddenly he says you can tie them up. And then in the Shulchan Aruch, Kesef Mishnah is saying, why is he bringing the tie it up here? We were eating, and now you're tying it up, then you go back to eating. But we know why he brought it. Because he ran into our Gemara. That the Gemara had a bit of eating and a bit of tying it up. So tying it up is synonymous with washing. So the Rambam said Chaparain. Since we ended up in our Gemara, which I should leave it out? Why would I leave it out? It fits perfect here. But then the Kesef Mishnah says you're bringing it in with a fikach. It doesn't totally jive. So the Rambam Chaparain, the Torah Chaparain, Shulchan Aruch Chaparain. Everyone is multitasking. Why? That apparently is the light here. Right? Abaye was there by the Mishnah. Like two things by one spot. So here's the Chiddush. Big Chiddush. The Mechaber, by changing from motrin to motrim, is Lashon, they are mutter. Motrin is a matzav that's mutter. Right? Matzav that's mutter. The meat and the cheese are not puzzle. You can wash them off. That's motrin, the Torah. By the Mechaber saying motrim, what is he telling you? I wrote the nusach of the Torah. The Torah quoted basically the Bala Itter. And here, get this. This is the Chiddush. Ready? I, the Mechaber, learned from the Torah that he was copying a rhyme with the Bala Itter. And I'm changing his girsa. Why? The Rambam was copying a rhyme by eating in the Gemara, tying it up, that whole zach, right? I had two Rishonim, says the Mechaber. The Rambam and the Bala Itter derech of the Torah. The Mechaber says, then you know what the halacha is? In milk and meat, you have to chap arayin. That's the Masorah. That's what it is. I can prove it to you. There are 3 places in the Chumash where we mention don't eat milk and meat. One of the places is our famous ger location. Right? Give the nevela to the ger in your gate, sell the nevela to the nachri, and do not cook a kid in his mother's milk. Why would you ever have milk and cheese mixed up, or the nevela situation? You see, it's already ger, right? And already in the pasuk, where milk and meat is, it's chaparayin. Milk and meat has nothing to do with nevela. But the pasuk itself, chaparayin. Okay, give the meat to the ger, and don't cook a kid in his mother's milk. Chaparayin. You're gonna have a Jew eating a meal, and you have a ger, got free meat. If you get together, don't be weird. Cooking milk and meat is weird. The Torah says don't do it. A Jew and a ger eating might be seen as weird. You see what I'm saying? The whole meichin is to chop 2 things together that don't go. Is that not what milk and meat is? We're saying from the halacha, it is what it is. If you have to have a clear heart to daven, then have a clear heart in the halacha that tells you how to daven. You see what I'm saying? If I taught the laws of how to not get in a fist fight, then I cannot get in a fist fight in giving over those laws. You follow that? If I'm going to give the laws of Shabbos, I can't be Mechalel Shabbos. If I'm teaching Basar V'chalav, which is two things mushed together, Chaparain, the halacha always has to have two things come together. You see, the Torah did it, Rambam did it, you still haven't seen how I've done it in the Shulchan Aruch. Ready? Motrim, he's bringing to you the Torah, and the Bala Itter, and the Rambam. Meaning he's saying, they're both mutter, i.e. not puzzle, yeah? But that lashon of mutrin would tell you only puzzle, or not puzzle. By saying motrim, he's telling you they're also kosher to eat. Just like the Rambam. So motrim is a reboy. Like the Torah, that if they touch, they're not puzzle. And like the Rambam, if they touch and you take care of it, you can eat them both. That's the chiddush in the Mechaber. Is that nice? The Mechaber in one word, one letter, different from the Torah, that mem at the end was to bring in the Rambam. Because the Rambam was on location, the Rambam chap the Rhein, the Mechaber is telling you pshat, if you only would have learned the Torah, you wouldn't have learned the Rambam. If you only would have learned the Rambam, you wouldn't have known the Torah. He quoted the Torah, changed one letter, brought in the Rambam. Based on how we understood him, the Kesef Mishnah, on the Rambam. If it wasn't for the Kesef Mishnah, we wouldn't have known he had an issue with the Rambam. Once he told us that, then we see that he was not only obliged by his own svara to come into the Mechaber Perush, right? But you see he did, and it made sense. Now, we got something else going on. Something else going on. So now that we understand that eating, and I lost my bookmark, eating is part of this equation, right? Because the Rambam. No one asked the Rambam to bring that in here, but he did. He did. Right? Because really, the Rambam shouldn't even be here. He was talking about eating the whole time. And he realized that we were here for him in our Gemara. Now in the Rambam world, I am the foreigner talking about the Gemara. Rambam's saying, yeah, you have to ride with me. But in the Shulchan Aruch's world, the Rambam is a foreigner. Why are you doing that? It just is a matter of location. The Rambam thought to bring our Gemara in because he got to the topic. The Mechaber thought to bring the Rambam in because we arrived at the topic. Right? Milk and meat, and the Torah thought to bring the ger in and the nevela. Why not? It seems like that is the mochin of milk and meat. That's the whole thing. If you're cooking a cholent, don't say, hey, let's just bring in the milk and make a whole cholent out of this. No! That's how you make a treif. So it's ironic. How do you make kosher the treif sugya? By bringing in more stuff. You see, it is what it is. You see, it is what it is. So then, if you look at 89, 1 and 2, 1 in the Shulchan Aruch, it says the halacha about eating milk and meat at the one after the other. Ochel basar afilu shel chaya v'of lo yachol gvina achrav ashi yishia sheish shaos v'afilu im sheyesh kashir im yesh basar bein shinayim tzorich lasiro v'halos latino tzorich lamtin. Basically, in 1 and 2 of the Shulchan Aruch, hope you're listening, if you ate meat, real meat, cooked good meat, you cannot eat cheese after it until 6 hours. If you ate cheese, you can eat meat after it immediately. The Ramah is going to say that the Ashkenazim, you can eat meat after cheese after meat immediately if you do certain things. Now,